My name is Kwabena Chencheheneboati. Many thanks for joining us here on News Desk. The Executive Director of Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Ibrahima, has described Ghana's delay in passing the Right to Information Bill as globally embarrassing. Speaking on the AM show a short while ago to commemorate Press Freedom Day, which falls today, the 3rd of May, Mr. Ibrahima expressed disgust at the country's inability to pass into law the Right to Information Bill, citing countries with less stable democracies that have managed to pass similar laws. The Right to Information Bill is yet to be passed by Parliament after more than 13 years since its introduction.
We are in a region where, so far, if you take Africa, West African countries constitute the biggest bloc in terms of the countries with right to information. Sierra Leone has it, Nigeria has it, Liberia has it, Guinea has it, Burkina Faso has it, Niger has it, and Cote d'Ivoire has it. And for 13 years, as you know, the people of Ghana have been pleading with their government and with the people who say they represent them in Parliament to give them the most fundamental right, which is that anytime they feel a need for information, they should have that legal right to access that kind of information. And our governments for the last 13 years, and our MPs, our parliamentarians for the last 13 years have said, we wouldn't grant you that right. And yet they would go around saying they are committed to they are committed to transparent and accountable governance, they are committed to fighting corruption, and so on and so forth. There cannot be any legitimacy for any claim that says a government is committed to fighting corruption when the same government is denying people their right to information. So I think that it is the right time to discuss these issues, and we hope that as we discuss it, press freedom will also continue to improve around the world.
But somebody will say, even without the right to information law, we seem to be doing fine as a country.
We are not at all. I can understand when people say, well, right to information, what else are we talking about? Because there are so many radio stations around the country, so many television stations. Now there is social media. So people are beginning to even complain about information overload. So, you know, I can tune into so many radio stations and so on. And the government will say, well, you know, there's so much press freedom, and we even have government portals that you can go there and find out what government is doing. You see, the difference is that there's always a difference between the information that the government would want to give and the information that the citizens want and need. Around the country, I don't think that people can simply go or write to a district assembly and say, I want to know what was our share of the district assembly common fund and how the assembly has used it. And you would have the assembly responding and giving you the breakdown. I don't know how easy it will be if I should ask that I want to know how much it is costing us as a nation for the president to be moving around the country doing the thank you tour. I don't know how easy it will be if at some point I decide that I want to know how much it is costing the MPP to run the 2016 campaign. I doubt any of these groups would willingly give out the information that is that will be requested.
And that was Suleiman Ibrahima, is the Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, speaking earlier on the AM show. Well, this year's celebration is on the theme, access to information and fundamental freedom. And this is your right. But how easy or difficult has it been over the years for journalists in the country in accessing information? Well, we'll be speaking to some journalists in a brief while, or we might probably even be speaking to the Ghana Journalists Association. But just before then, let's go into the phone lines now and speak to Member of Parliament for Bekwai and the ranking member for Parliament's Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Yes, and joining me now is Honorable Joseph Osewusu. He's like I mentioned earlier, Member of Parliament for Bekwai. He's also the ranking member on that same committee. Honorable, good morning. Many thanks for your time on News Day, sir.
Good morning.
So, for the many journalists and indeed for the many Ghanaians who seek information, getting it is a bit difficult. So, it was quite an interesting thing for almost all of us when we heard that the Right to Information Bill had been introduced. But several years down the line, and we are still at stage one. It looks like nothing is being done about the situation. Why such a delay?
Well, the parliamentary process is managed by the leadership of Parliament. And there's a group called business committee. They program the business. And to the best of my knowledge, it's not been programmed yet. When it was tabled in 2013, it was referred to the committee, of which I'm a ranking member. We have finished our work and put the report back to the House. As to when the business committee will program it, I regret that I don't have control and I may not be able to offer an answer.
So what were the recommendations your committee made in this report?
Oh, we made a very far-reaching recommendation. We strove to make sure that Ghana's bill is brought in line with the AU model law on right to information. So we made very, very far-reaching proposed amendments that would bring Ghana's bill in line with the AU model law on right to information.
And so you did your job, and then you handed over to Parliament's Business Committee, and they are yet to table it before the House for subsequent action to be taken. But from what you said, does it look like we are likely to see this very bill become law before the end of this particular tenure?
I don't want to speculate. If it is the priority of government, it will be done. I've seen bills that are much, much bigger. Done in, for example, a new income tax law was about 3 times the size of this one. But when it was priority of government, we start through day and night to finish it. So it depends on the priority. If it's a priority of government, it will be done before the session.
So by that, can we then assume that successive governments have not really prioritized this bill? It's not in your interest to pass it?
Well, it is my view that any time it is a priority of government to do anything, it gets done.
And we've seen this span about 13 years. That means your government, the NPP, as well as the NDC government, have both failed to pass it. So I'm asking, does it suppose that...
NPP government did not introduce it at all. NPP government were discussing it. They did all, if I recall, they did a lot of tall proposals, but it did not reach Parliament. It was NDC government that brought it to Parliament in 2010. We worked all through. We couldn't bring a report. Then it was reintroduced in 2013, and at the close of 2014, we had finished work, a committee, and put out our report.
So I just want to find out why government will not place so much emphasis on this bill. I mean, really, if we are really particular about accounting to the people and letting the people know that these are the things, the taxes we've been paying, for instance, have been used for, then really, why not really focus on passing this bill?
I wish I were in government. I would offer you the explanation, but sitting outside, I can't tell. But you see, there's another part of this bill with the right to information is a constitutional guarantee one. The bill is supposed to provide the limitation. The constitutional provision is that subject to what limitations Parliament will place on it, Ghanaians have the right to information. So Ghanaians should exercise the right and that may force the hands of government to place whatever limits that they think is necessary. As of now, because we appear to be waiting for the limitations before we exercise the right that is guaranteed us in the Constitution. Recently, I think Occupy Ghana, they went to court based on that constitutional requirement. And the court has ordered the Attorney General to give to them all the details regarding the bus branding. That are the kinds of things Ghanaians must say. When that is done, and government may then be forced to bring what recommendations or what limitations it wants to see, that is when the bill is likely to pass. But so long as we are happy to say, oh, the bill is not there, the right to information, but the right to information is in the Constitution.
Okay.
It is the limitation to its exercise that has not been passed. And for me, that should be a blessing. Or we should continue to insist that we're entitled to the information without any limitation. The Constitution says subject to. It has not been provided, so we should have the right.
Okay, and that very instance you cited was actually a Citizen Ghana movement court case. But again, you are saying that by this, it happens to be that journalists are rather the ones not pushing hard enough to get the information, and that's already it's enshrined in the Constitution.
We are making excuses for not exercising that right which is guaranteed us. I don't think anybody can say that because I am government, I have not done what the Constitution expects me to do, so you cannot enjoy the rights that the Constitution has guaranteed you. So we should take a cue from what the group did recently and demand the information that we're entitled to.
But what happens when you, the journalist, go seeking information and you're told, you know what, you do not have clearance, or, I mean, it's above your pay grade to even ask for certain information. Maybe you need to get access from the chief of staff or any higher authority. I mean, what happens? How do you get
appropriate legal steps? As this group, you said of citizens what? Citizen movement.
Yes, Citizen Ghana movement, yes.
Yeah. Those are the kinds of things we need people, the group, to do. If political parties do it, it won't go far. And in any case, every political party aspires to be in government, and every government who wants to control information.
So the insistence on getting this RTI bill passed in itself is much ado about nothing, essentially.
Well, I don't think so. If it passed, the parameters will be defined. But until then, should we wait? Should we not enjoy the constitutionally guaranteed right?
Right. Honorable Sewusu, many thanks for your time on News Desk this morning. And Joseph Sewusu is a ranking member for the Committee for Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. He joined us on the phone with a lot more perspective on that very issue. That's the Right to Information Bill, which he believes, we seem to be talking so much about this one, but we rather need to start acting. Essentially, he's saying that the Constitution enshrines in it the right to information. Hence, we really do not even need this bill. This bill is actually going to provide limitations as to what kind of information you can actually have access to. So as things stand now, journalists or any other Ghanaian seeking information can go ahead and access the information. And if anyone prevents you from accessing that very information, you are at liberty to head to the courts. We'll see how this very issue pans out. We're able to speak to the Ghana Journalists Association on this, but unfortunately we do not have them on the phone lines now. So we can now do some more stories. And the NPP flag bearer Nana Akuffo Addo is asking fishermen along the country's coast to support him win the November polls to eliminate partisan politics in the fishing industry. Now he says, under the watch of the NDC, the fishing industry is on a nosedive, bringing untold hardships on the people. Nana Akuffo Addo was interacting with fishermen at Elmina in the central region.
The 2016 NPP flag bearer, Nana Akuffo Addo, indicated that the Kufuor-led government, of which he was an integral member, put in place fantastic measures that cushioned fishermen from economic hardships. According to him, the measures put in place for the fisher folks have been collapsed under the Mahama administration because the fishing industry has been tainted with politics, especially in the sale and distribution of premix fuel. He assured the fishing communities he will eliminate all such practices.
Fisheries Management Committee.
The Fishing Management Committee was set up during President Kufuor and late Gladys Asman's tenure, and it will be restored under the leadership of the Chief Fisherman.
Management Committees. We're going to restore the Fisheries Management Committees, which will be there under the leadership of the Chief Fisherman. That's our premix.
So that the premix fuel and outboard motors will be well supervised. This will prevent control over the fishing sector by constituency chairman and secretary. Believe that I will work for the country. Remember, this is the third time I'm vying for this position. I'm pleading that you vote for me.
We have to have the courage to tackle these matters. We can no longer postpone decisions on these things. And I want to commit myself to you and give me the mandate. We are going to have the courage to make those decisions and ban patrolling in our waters. The courage to do the right thing. That is what is lacking in Ghana today. I'm telling you, Akuffo Addo's government is going to have the courage to do what is necessary for the survival of our people. Vessel monitoring system. We can monitor the activities of the vessels outside the 30 nautical mile limit, meter zone, and also we're going to have it back. ahyɛ me bɔ sɛ moma me kwan a yɛne ba bɛyɛ no no na menhyira mo monyɛ gyidie wɔ me mu monyɛ gyidie wɔ me mu sɛ meba ma ba bɛyɛ adwuma ma ɔma nyɛ nyankasa mekɔtokuro mu nti na mɛba mpɛ mmiɛnsa ni o mpɛ mmiɛnsa na mepere akonnwa kɛseɛ mene ba bɛsrɛ ghanafoɔ mabɛpo no abɛpo no afei mesrɛ mo mombie po no ma no mombie po no ma no.
The fishermen requested of the NPP flag bearer to construct a warehouse at the landing beaches to help house their inputs and also to serve as a retail store for the entire fishing communities. They also prayed Nana Akuffo Addo to establish a special bank for fishermen to aid in the acquisition of loans and credit facilities for their operations and ensure a direct linkage between the Ministry of Fisheries and Fishermen should he win the 2016 elections. Richard Kwejunyako, Joy News, Elmina.
Well, let's stay in the central region because the newly built Cape Coast Sports Stadium, we are told, has been opened to the public this morning ahead of the official commissioning by President Mahama later today. We can go live now and speak to Central Regional correspondent Richard Kwejunyako, who joins us with a lot more on this very one. So, Kojo, I can imagine the joy in town today. Tell us more about what's going on this morning in the central region.
Well, as I speak with you, a lot of people have been putting buses. They are conveying them to the sports stadium. I've seen about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buses that are fully loaded and they are headed for the stadium. And the stadium is a 15,000 capacity stadium. It's a very wonderful and a nice edifice. It is a kind of it that people of Cape Coast have not seen. You know, before the start of this stadium, the people here were skeptical because the chief promises upon promises that they were going to build a sports stadium for them. But upon this completion, the people are excited. Yesterday in the evening, I left there around 11 p.m., and the number of people that were trooping to catch a glimpse of this edifice was overwhelming. The floodlight was illuminating the entire stadium, and people wouldn't even sleep. They kept vigil there, and the place leading to the Cape Coast Sports Stadium has been asphalted. This morning, a lot of people are here at the entrance of the studio and the stadium, and the stadium was just open to the general public to go and have or to have a feel of what is there. And there are also businesses that are ongoing there. I can see the mobile phone people; they are also selling their mobile phones. Those who are selling recharge cards, ice water sellers, sachet water sellers, and the others, and people who are selling fancy kenke, gakenke, and the others. They are all cashing in this morning at the stadium, and so it's really a wonderful sight to behold here at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium, where the fanfare has just begun, and the entire program is scheduled to begin in the afternoon with an opening match between Ghana's Black Satellites and the Chinese under-19 team. They will be played there, and some matches will also be played under floodlights to test the strength of the floodlight that is here. And so that is currently what is happening here.
Right. Kojo, many thanks for your time, and I know you wish you could play on that very pitch, but maybe in your next life you might have to come as a footballer. But many thanks for that update, and that was Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kwejunyako bringing us an update on that newly commissioned stadium facility in the Central Region. We are told that today, for instance, there'll be 2 matches on the pitch, and you could go there and you just have a look at that very facility. We are told it's beautiful. And indeed, you did see some pictures on your screens a short while ago. The Cape Coast Sports Stadium. We'll bring you a lot more on this in subsequent bulletins, particularly during the sports segments. But time now for a break here on Newsdays. When we come back, we'll bring you a lot more stories. Don't go away.